Made 59 appearances out of the Dodgers bully last year. Posted a 3.7 ERA and 56 innings pitched. And he provides the White Sox with that right arm at the back end of the pen that they sorely need. Again, like I said, the White Sox flipped most of their bullpen last year at the trade deadline. So, Soria is only a couple years removed from really one of his, probably his career year between Detroit and Pittsburgh. I mean, he was blowing it up in 2016. So this is a guy who has a background, he has a resume, and the White Sox got a right-handed arm at the end of their bullpen. Not bad at all. Now, in Avion, they get a 28-year-old southpaw, and they need left-handers out of the pen. Last year, Matt, 61 appearances out of the Dodgers bully. He had a 2.93 ERA and 46 innings of work. And in those 46 innings, he struck out 52 batters. So I think the White Sox made out pretty good in that deal. Now, the Dodgers, they got White Sox prospect Jake Peter out of the deal. And Peter was a guy that the White Sox had a feeling that they might lose him in the Rule 5 draft. The 24-year-old was selected in the 7th round of the 2014 MLB draft. Super utility player out of Creighton University. And he has split time between AA Birmingham and AAA Charlotte last year. In his minor league career, he's a .289 hitter with 24 home runs, 185 ribs in 440 games. After UAM Mankata's promotion, Jake took over second base in Charlotte last year, and he hit .292 with 9 home runs, 28 ribs, and 48 games. And really, this sounds like almost Culberson that they gave up in their trade a couple weeks ago in the Matt Kemp trade. So Jake Peter is probably going to fill the role that's been vacated by Luke Culberson. That would be my guess. Now, the Dodgers also acquired ground ball specialist Scott Alexander in the deal from KC. Alexander's a 28-year-old left-handed pitcher who is expected to be as efficient and a much cheaper option than Tony Watson, who they pretty much allowed to hit the free agent market with a wave and a good luck. And to me, this move kind of makes sense for the Dodgers in that another team desperate to stay under this luxury tax threshold, they were able to shed ridiculous payroll from that Matt Kemp trade. That was a trade that got them under the threshold. I don't see them wanting to return there. So they go out, and instead of re-signing Tony Watson to a multi-year deal for buku bucks, they trade for the rookie out of Kansas City, Scotty Alexander. And look, he throws more ground balls than anybody last year out of, relief pitchers with enough innings to qualify. Nobody had a ground ball ratio like him. 73.8% clip. That's even better than Zach Britton, who he's been compared to in many, many ways. And he was just a rookie last year. So, look. Don't be surprised if sometime in the future Scotty Alexander becomes their closer. I just see him in that role. He's a good pitcher. And not many people know about him. He's a typical Kansas City Royal hidden gem. He posted a 2.48 ERA and 58 appearances last year. And like I said, he is a left-handed pitcher with moxie that just makes you drive the ball into the ground and puts that defense to work. And that's what you want in LA. I think they're going to be really, really happy with that dude and Jake Peter. So, look, I think the White Sox did good. And I think the Dodgers did good. Now, the Royals, you know, it's a shot in the dark almost. I don't know much about the players they got. No one really does. They're prospects. The Royals got Trevor Oakes in the deal from Los Angeles. Oakes is a 24-year-old prospect. He had a 3.64 ERA in 16 appearances at Oklahoma City in 2017. And when you're playing in the pitching-rich Dodgers farm system, it's got to be a little frustrating for him. He has put up good numbers in his career, but his path to the majors has always been blocked by farmhands like Wallace Buehler, Julio Arias, Ross Stripling, Brock Stewart. So maybe all he needs is a change of scenery and a chance to break that major league roster. And Kansas City might be the place. Like I said, I don't really know much about the kid, but his numbers do look respectable. The Royals also received infielder Eric Mejia. At AAA Oklahoma City last year, he batted .278 with 8 home runs, 41 RBIs, and 28 stolen bases. Again, another prospect looking to shore up that middle infield, especially with Alcides Escobar entering the free agent market. So I know for a fact that I do like the White Sox end of this deal. I do like the Dodgers end of this deal. And I'm going to have to trust the process with the Kansas City Royals before I make any kind of judgment on Trevor Oakes and Eric Mejia. It's the Jake Robinson Sports Experience live on the Let's Talk Baseball Podcast Network. Not really a lot of things going on in baseball this week. It's going to be a short show. But I'm going to give you the all-around compass of everything that we're talking about and everything that's going on. But I got to tell you, even a boring week of baseball is better than a week without baseball. I mean, where would I be without baseball? Honestly. Who am I without baseball? I'm nobody. You're listening to the Jake Robinson Sports Experience live out of West Palm Beach, Florida. This is your boy, Jake the Snake, half man, half podcast machine. Giving you the rundown. Former All-Stars Cub pitcher Mark Pryor has signed on to be Dave Roberts' bullpen coach for the Dodgers. Pryor spent the last 4 years in San Diego, first as baseball operations assistant, and then as minor league pitching coordinator. This story makes me happy. I really loved Mark Pryor his first 2 years in the league. I thought this kid was a surefire Hall of Famer. I thought he was going to set the frickin' standard. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was a on-base collision in San Diego that ended, pretty much precipitated his injuries to his shoulder and in the end ended his career. So it's good to see him go into San Diego, get a couple offers, get promoted, make the best of his situation. And I just remember him coming out of USC, and he was so highly rated. In fact, wasn't Mark Pryor the only pitcher that was out of college who was higher rated than Ben McDonald back in the 80s? If I remember correctly, I think that's the case. So it's good to see Mark Pryor back into the game of baseball, although he's been here for the last 4 years, and it's good to see that he's done his due diligence, done his homework, accepted his promotions, and now he's moving on to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Good for you, Mark. Returning to that Dodger staff will be pitching coach Rick Honeycutt, bench coach Bob Guerin, hitting coach Turner Ward, first base coach George Lombardi, and third base coach Chris Woodward. And that's pretty much the news in baseball this week, folks. It's been, the hot stove is warming up a little bit, but there's still a lot of moves to be made. And I don't have to tell you, I'm sure you've been sitting there following the situation as intently as I have. I know Tom Blasingame keeps asking me, you think these players are panicking? I don't think they're panicking. I don't think the top tier players are panicking for sure. Now, some of these middle tier guys, they might have a little panic in them. I don't think guys like Hosmer, Moustakas, Darvish, Arrieta, I don't even think they're sweating this. A couple other stories. Alex Cobb turned down a 3-year deal from the Cubs on the advice of his agent. I know this insulted a couple of Cubs fans on the page, but here's the truth of the matter. Agents don't just leave those kind of deals on the table. They know the landscape of the market that they're dealing with. And I think Alex Cobb is looking for that 4th year, and I think he's looking for $15 to $17 million a year. Now, I'm not saying that the offer that the Cubs made wasn't fair, and I'm not saying that it wasn't smart, because it was. I think the Cubs have been trying to figure out how they can go on in a cheaper way without Jake Arrieta. They've inquired about Danny Salazar. They've had talks with Yu Darvish. They've made offers to Alex Cobb. But you can't get mad at Cobb because his agent told him to turn down that deal. I know Ryan Benke out of Oregon said, well, he's not going to be pitching for a contending team if he wants that kind of money. And you may be right. But maybe to Alex Cobb, that's not what's important. What's important to him is job security, 4 years, and that cash. Who knows where some of these guys' heads are at. The Giants, the Mets, and the Pirates have been in this 3-way love tryst. And a lot of the talks have centered around Andrew McCutchen and Josh Harrison. And I got to be honest with you, I just don't see how it's possible with either one of those teams. Neither one of the Mets or the Giants have the prospects or the farm system to possibly give you equal value for Andrew McCutchen. So my thing is this. If the Pirates do decide to move Andrew McCutchen to one of those teams, I think it's clearly a salary dump. I just don't know what you can get back in return for Andrew McCutchen. Now, I hear people poo-pooing Andrew McCutchen because he's in decline from what he was, but look, the guy still had 28 home runs last year. He's still a solid bat in the middle of the lineup. And if I was the Pirates, I would not be just giving him away, or Josh Harrison. No more salary dumps. The Pirates have got to start getting